I was like just seeing the spamming on the title screen.
Yeah, the little Mega Man
during
dance,
the race bot countdown. Just anything to avoid the demo starting again 2 seconds before
been
starting.
Caught there more than once. I've also accidentally went to password or options. But anyway, we're off to the races here. Intro stage, as we all know, is pretty basic. Just hold right, hit shoot a lot, and try not to crash into anything unintentionally, right?
Yeah, really volatile stage though, just based on how much RNG is involved.
Yeah, it looks like both of their guys got machine gun Bs to start with, so they should be in the clear as far as B randomness goes. This will be for Garebear on the second one, and another machine gun for Delca. So they're going to have lots of HP to do task cars if they feel like it. It's a bit risky, so we'll see what they opt to do at the end of the stage here. Oh, and wall kicks. That's one thing you don't want to see in the intro. So Garebear is going to lose a little bit of time to that, but...
Yeah, some of these jumps are not necessarily trivial to get without having to do a wall kick. It's like they're just far enough apart that it's slightly annoying.
Yeah, it looks like Delca is not going to do task cars. Meanwhile, Garebear is going to go for it here. He gets some friendly bullets. And, ooh, man, I was cutting it pretty close there, but he got it, no problem. And Delca using the third and final car to bring his health down. You need to be at 3 or less health for the Vile fight. It's one of those unwinnable sort of cutscene fights.
Unless you want to really put on a show and get beat up by Vile.
Yeah, it looks like Garebear gets the advantage on the ship luck as well. The ship can take quite some time to center up over X before lowering Vile. And that's just purely random which direction it decides to go. Delca gets a very good Vile standing right next to him. Has to take a little baby step to grab him. So pretty close race through the intro. No tragedies here.
Yeah, looks like Garebear's got about a 4-second lead. That could definitely be a lot bigger, depending on just general dumb intro stage stuff.
So first things first, off to Penguin stage, as always. Gotta get the boots here. Really pick the pace of the run up, and you'll see a lot of cool movement and stuff once we get the boots. But until then, some more walking and some more shooting and some more jumping.
Yeah, there's some pretty slight things you can do to speed this section up marginally, but for the most part, yeah, hold right, kill everything in your path. Until the game forces you to turn left. That's... jeez. Who would have expected that?
Good plot twist. We're going left. So, yeah, these rolly guys and these bats are all in a very predictable pattern. So you can, as long as your movement's clean and you shoot in all the same places, you're going to have pretty smooth section through this bootsless part. And Garebear is the first to reach the dash capsule. The first and likely only upgrade. I don't know. Any of these guys going to go for the armor?
I don't know. I'm feeling a helmet for Garebear.
Sweet tiara.
Yeah. It's really important, you know. For the chameleon revisits, you don't get hit by the rocks.
Oh man, close one for Delca there. Almost falling into that pit. Lucky this is Mega Man X, so we can kick walls and stuff. Classic Mega, that falling down that pit. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Your fate is sealed as soon as you're, like, below the ground. Classic Mega.
Delca using a bit of a damage boost strat to get through some of these snowball throwers. Pretty clean for the most part. The Penguin fight is a pretty complicated fight. There's a lot going on here. Oh, and right away, Garebear gets a double slide. Oh, that's...
2 slow ones.
Pretty nasty. Penguin's pattern is random. He's invulnerable during his slide, so you want to see as few slides as possible. But another thing is that he's just like you have so little health, and he does quite a bit of damage on contact and his sculptures and stuff, and his patterns so random. It's kind of easy to take a death here if you're not careful. But both runners making pretty good pace through the Penguin fight. We'll be moving on to
Delca not dealing with any of Penguin's nonsense, just destroying those ice statues as soon as they pop up.
Okay, up next we've got one of my favorite stages. Probably one of the most difficult, definitely top 3, I think, difficult stages. Probably the hardest of the 8 maps. Boomer Kwanger. It's a lot of vertical stuff. Scaling the walls, climbing ladders. Ideally, you can do some gap jumps and some cool stuff to avoid grabbing ladders, but that's pretty technical. Garebear getting beat up on this turtle climb, though.
You know, when these turtles start having it in for you, it can be difficult to get your bearings straight and actually dodge everything.
Yeah, Delco just takes his time. There are some more advanced strats, like a turtle skip, which I think is what Garebear was going for, but once you get sort of out of rhythm, all bets are off. And now we have the one auto-scroller, our run, the elevator. It's not an auto-scroller for 2-stop, though, I guess.
Yeah, if you're 2-stop, the auto-scroller's faster.
Yeah. Oh, little head bonk there from Garebear, but he recovers nicely. Garebear is the first to reach the top of the tower.
Like the one decent mistake that happened to Garebear was that head bonk, and that was like the most inconsequential thing.
Yeah, Delca's struggling in the last part of the climb here. Ooh. Okay, but he makes it. Oh, and Garebear goofs the dance, and he's really low, and he gets thrown, and that's going to be it. Oh, man. Let's see if Delca could take the lead here, if he can survive. Kwanger is one of those fights that starts out as a really, like, I call it a wall, almost, for newer runners. It's very tough to do with minimum health and without his weakness. But at the higher levels, you get this dance that you're starting to see on Garebear's side, and the fight becomes totally free. But he lost it. He's going to try to recover here. Delca's jumping all over the place trying to get hits on Kwanger. Garebear is going to make up time. It looks like we're going to have a pretty close finish. Oh, Garebear takes the lead back within the fight.
Kwanger really has the jukes. He dodged, I think, like at least 3 shots there. Teleporting just in the nick of time.
Yeah, Kwanger he's a tough boss for newer runners. It's very easy to just get sort of out of sync with him and time your shot just a little late, and he's gone.
But anyway, now that we got the hardest stage out of the way, time to move on to Chameleon. And it's a lot of just dashing it right and then the easiest boss in the game.
Yeah, looks like Garebear is going to forego the armor here. Low percent so far. I imagine he'll probably pick up 1 or 2 hearts. And meanwhile, Delca's going to ascend to safety here. He's going to fight the mid-boss, RT55J, and pick himself up some armor. The armor is pretty critical for some newer runners because it cuts your damage in half. It's a pretty big time sink with this mid-boss and the capsule animation and all the rocks have to fall and everything. So you're going to see some separation here. But in exchange for that, Delca's going to have a lot of safety, where in the end game, Garebear is going to have a very real chance of dying in almost every stage. Delca's going to have a lot more safety and is hoping to pick up time there by simply not dying, you know?
Yeah, picking up the armor is, like, at this point in the game, kind of the equivalent of picking up, like, 8 hearts. just immediately. So be able to take twice as many hits going into the end game, where everything likes to do at least half your health in damage.
Yeah, so Garebear makes short work of Chameleon. And Delca's going to make his way through the swamp. The swamp's always kind of a fun section, just because everything dies so quickly and you can sort of do it a few different ways and kind of have fun. You know, I know you like to do some boomerang swag at the end there.
Yeah, just as long as it doesn't grab the door. Shoutouts to Fatso.
Yeah, that's a pretty good clip. If you haven't seen that, find that clip. Oh, losing a cycle on the elevator here. He's up now. See if he goes up for the sub tank, or is he gonna? He's just gonna go for it. I imagine if he was gonna go for a sub tank, Eagle's probably the quickest bet, right? So.
Yeah, I think that one's probably the most straightforward, easy one to get. After that, maybe Mammoth, but you do have to backtrack a little in the stage for it in this category.
Yeah, you'd have to climb all the way to the top and then go left. Right?
Or get the helmet.
Or get the helmet. So Garebear is already into the Eagle fight. Eagle, another bird jerk source of RNG here. What we don't want to see is a bunch of dives. But having his weakness makes this fight very, very simple. Just sort of random in nature. And there he goes. See ya, Eagle. So it looks like a 5 dive if he doesn't miss any shots. And Delca going for that sub tank we talked about earlier. Ooh, and Garebear hits the 50-50 guess.
Nice.
So only 4.5 dives. So the sub tank is an item that if your health is full and you pick up a health capsule, it'll fill the sub tank and then you can utilize it to refill your health later in the run. So that's just another bit of safety Delca's going to take into that end game with him, just to ensure that he doesn't fall to any of the late bosses. See how many dives Delca gets in comparison to Garebear's 5.
Delca crashing into Eagle a little bit.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to get off with only 1 dive here. Oh, 2, because he missed the shot.
That shot was really close.
Yeah.
Chameleon's thing just took a little bit longer to break apart and go away.
No, Garebear spamming tornadoes. Thunder Slimer not cooperating at all. It's fastest if Thunder Slimer comes down and you can spam either C-Sting or boomerangs into him, because they do a little more damage. But when he's up top, the tornado is much easier to hit him with, and it stays on him for a long time and can dish out damage that way. It's just not quite as fast. Here we see our first safety from Garebear, grabbing the Mandrill Heart. That'll give him 2 extra HP. Not a whole lot of safety, but it is something. And having grabbed that, I expect him to probably grab at least 1 more from Armadillo stage, as that one's totally free. Looks like Delca's getting a pretty similar pattern from Thunder Slimer, sticking to the ceiling. Oh, now he comes down for a little bit. But
Garebear's already, a bit.
Yeah, bouncing's the most frustrating pattern in my opinion. But Garebear's already taken out Spark Mandrill. Relatively simple fight with ice. It can be a little iffy if he decides to punch you a lot, but Garebear had absolutely no problem.
Yeah, Spark Mandrill's up there with Chameleon as like one of the easiest fights, like at least casually, because you can just completely stun lock him. In the speed run, it's a bit more difficult.
And Delca grabs the heart and Mandrill as well, so that's one more safety for him. I think that's his first heart so far. Armor, sub-tank, and now 1 heart.
He's not got a bad setup so far. If he just gets the Dillo heart, that's probably enough. I don't think he really needs anything else.
Yeah, I think the Dillo heart is a pretty standard suite of items that'll complete his set. But he may go for more. I've seen players also go for the Mammoth heart, which Garebear did not bother with. Speaking of Mammoth, Garebear moving right through the Mammoth stage. She chose to do it after Mandrill. Mammoth is the only stage in the run that doesn't really have a set place in the route. It can go anywhere after Eagle and not really cost any time. The only difference is what weapons you have at your disposal. But none of them are faster than any of the others. So a lot of players will opt to do Mammoth last for RNG farming because it is a straightforward stage with a RNG free boss. But some players will also do it earlier just to get it out of the way, or for stage select purposes as well. As you see Delca here moving on to Armadillo, which I'm sure will be Garebear's next stage.
Yeah, so it'll look like Delca's a bit ahead, but he still has that whole other stage that Garebear just finished. We'll probably see both of them pick up the heart.
Yeah, this is, I mean, easily the fastest of all the safety items to pick up. If you're going to get anything, you're going to get this one as well, I would think. And this is another one of those pretty straightforward stages. Just a lot of riding on this cart.
Sticky cart there.
Yeah, got stuck. Gets past that Molbor nicely, and you'll see him just do a short hop, throw the boomerang, and lose almost no time. Pretty much just the fanfare of the heart itself.
Yeah, you also get to see the heart turn into garbage right before he picks it up. Let's see if Garebear gets the garbage heart too. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, well, what's the deal with that? It just gets far enough away from its spawn. It doesn't know what its sprite's supposed to look like anymore.
Yeah, I think it loads different sprite or palette data, and it just ends up looking weird. Same kind of thing with the Octo Heart. You can run away with that. It turns into weird, like, Utuboros pieces.
It looked like Delca got a pretty good pattern. Dillo is one of those bosses that can roll as long as he wants. He can really kind of take his time. But Garebear gets the perfect pattern. As soon as he breaks open, you can take his armor off, and then it's no longer a concern. But his initial roll can last as long as it wants, and during that entire time, he's invulnerable because he still has his armor. But
yeah, Dillo's up there with Penguin for bosses that can kind of waste as much of your time as they want.
So next we have Launch Octopus. This stage is one of the more dangerous stages. So lucky for us, it's sort of later in the run. I mean, for these guys, I guess, because they pick up the safeties and it's a little more safe. But with the true low percent, it's very dangerous because these subs can cause you some damage. The Octofight is pretty dangerous in itself with a lot of projectiles flying around.
Yeah, a lot of things in this stage do 4 damage on contact. And there's also the little section with the big ship up above dropping bombs, and you're almost guaranteed to get hit there. So there's just like a lot of damage taken. And as I say that, Delca gets through that just fine.
Oh, he took an early torpedo, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Garebear, that's the hit that generally happens.
It's, yeah, 90% of the runs you're going to take a hit there. And here we got the sea snake, the Utuboros. You can kill him as soon as his little horn pokes out of the sand with one tornado shot. So it's a very nice, easy, quick kill. And both of our runners are very high in health here, so it should be relatively smooth sailing in the Octo fight.
Yeah,
Octo,
he's
another one. Octo, another one of those bosses that has an invulnerability move, and we see it here on Delca's side. The energy drain attack. And they're both getting the business at the same time. Synchronized laundry cycles. But yeah, he's invulnerable for the duration of that energy drain. And one strat you'll see some runners do is jump into that energy drain to trigger it and then mash their way out, but that comes with a risk of the infinite combo. But look at this sync. This is pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's almost frame perfect.
And that's it. That's the whole 8 mavs for Garebear. Delca's just gotta finish off Mammoth.
Man, that was a sync breakfast.
Yeah.
That was too good. But yeah, so Garebear is an entire stage ahead. Delca's gonna have to go do the Mammoth stage now, and Garebear is gonna be able to move on to the Fortress, where the difficulty of the run really sort of spikes. And right away we got a trick we call the leap of faith. We'll see if Garebear goes for it.
Yeah, anything can happen though. Garebear doesn't have the armor, and he's about like a little over halfway through the run in terms of time, but he's only like a third of the way through the RNG of the run. So really anything could happen on the upcoming bosses.
Yeah, and you see Garebear taking a bunch of damage here intentionally. This is because we have another fight with Vile coming up. Another unwinnable cutscene battle. Oh, and he grabs that small health. He's gonna need it.
Yeah, he's just gonna get hit by Vile once,
Yeah,
then we'll be okay.
Go for it. Yeah, Vile's gonna have to punch him in the face. You got to be at 6 or less HP for Vile to shoot his trapping shots and the cutscene to progress. Oh, and it's not gonna get the skip. Ooh, that's gonna cost him a bit of time.
Well, that's okay too, because he had to get hit anyway. There's potential for cutscenes to progress strangely and possibly soft lock if you don't do this setup quite right. So being forced to bail out of it just guaranteed that he's not soft blocking here.
Yeah. That hit from Vile did a lot of damage. I don't know if he had 7 or 8 HP.
Yeah, his punch does 6 damage.
Oh man, that was surprising.
That's why the task is get to here to take damage. You just take a whole bunch of punches. And Vile, unlike a lot of the bosses in the game, has really short invincibility time. He's more like a mini boss, but he has a full health bar and everything, so it's a little weird, but it kind of makes the fight more challenging than it should be.
I think it's one of the more fun fights to practice just because of those short iframes.
Yeah. It's cool when you do it quickly, but it's kind of annoying when he just slams into you over and over again.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll be seeing any attempts to claim Drago's bounty here. I doubt it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. $5, that's really tempting. Everyone's been practicing it since he said that.
So Delca coming up to his Vile skip. Well, Garebear taking on the Boomer Quanger fight. This time we've got missiles, which is his weakness. Gonna make the fight a whole lot easier, but still a little dangerous because Quanger moves so quickly. So you can kind of outrun the missiles and crash into you. But,
Chat is death. Ah, they're just fascinated by this race. Oh, Garebear picking up a little health. Definitely not a bad call. Bow Spider can move really fast toward the end of the fight and does 8 damage on contact, so being able to survive at least 1 hit is nice.
yeah, Bow Spider, another one of those sort of walls I talked about earlier, like Quanger. Another pretty tough fight for newer runners to figure out, but the idea is pretty straightforward. Is Spider is always going to start on one of the 4 vertical lines, and every green line he comes to on the way down, he's going to cross. And so you can sort of read where Spider is going to go and how she's going to go there, and position yourself accordingly to dish damage. The problem lies when she starts throwing babies and the fight progresses and she gets even faster. And so now you have to not only dodge babies, but read the pattern and position yourself in a place where you can hit her with your ice sled, and it becomes pretty chaotic. But Garebear, ooh man, missing the last few cycles here and gets another set of babies. Everything was going so well, and now finishes it off. One final sled, very nice.
Alright, there we go. Missing cycles at that point in the fight is sort of bad. Like, it's just a small time loss. He wasn't getting hit for a lot of those as well, so that was kind of okay. He was sort of playing it safe a bit.
Yeah, and Delca running a little low on health here. Does have the armor, so effectively has double the health you're seeing, but playing it pretty safe, doing the corner missile strats, no problems from Quanger. And I imagine we'll see a similar farming technique in the corridor leading up to Spider. Garebear onto the real run killer here, Sigma 2, where we get both of the jerk birds in the same stage. One slide already for Penguin. Here's number 2.
Oh, the farming pays off for Delca as well. I like that technique of just kill a handful of enemies and hope something drops.
Yeah, it's a pretty good move. I think Garebear is up around 5 or 6 dives. Not the friendliest of penguins.
But yeah, and he wasn't going for charged hits either. Just extending the fight a little bit longer.
Yeah, if you can get 2 hits with the charged fire wave, it shaves one hit off the fight at the end. So it's pretty free to go for. You have lots of ammo. If Penguin slides at just the wrong times, though, it can be annoying. Delca gets a nice free pattern to finish off Mama Spider. Well, Garebear takes on Eagle round 2. Same fight as last time, except this time, ideally, you finish the fight towards the right-hand side of the fighting arena here, because that's where you'll be going.
Five dives again. But only because he missed one shot.
Oh, and a bat bonk sends Delca directly into the pit. Not a huge time loss because it's right at the start of the stage, but frustrating nonetheless, I'm sure.
Yeah, if there's anywhere to die, like, this pit is totally fine. There's like this pit and the very beginning of a boss fight are probably the best times to die, like in the whole game.
Rangda Bangda, another sort of random boss. The eyes colors are random. Can be red, blue, or green. The green one is stationary and the most annoying because it opens very briefly. You can usually only get one hit on it, sometimes two. And then the blue eyes will move, track directly to where X was positioned when they opened. So they're very easy to dish out a bunch of damage to, especially if they're coming from all the way across the other side. And then the red eyes shoot bullets and move or stay stationary and can stay open for long periods of time. So blue or red eyes are the eyes you want to see for the most part. Garebear taking the safe skip here, taking the D boost, skipping the armadillo refight. Nicely done. And let's see what kind of penguin Delca got. Let's see what kind of eagle though. That's a pretty early up. It looks like it's going to be quite a few dives.
Yeah, it really can be.
I've lost count. Is that 8, 9? Something like that. Comes down to hover for the last hit.
Yeah. Too many is what it was.
Yeah, so that's going to hurt Delca's timer, but through with relatively good health. Ranged not a terribly scary boss, especially with the armor, but there is a spike pit. Kind of got to be leery of in this fight.
Armor doesn't help against spikes. Garebear getting Mandrill in a pretty nice loop there.
Yeah, let's see if Delca opts to kill this nose. No. If you kill the nose, the walls will stay closed, and since both eyes are alive, it can become pretty tricky in there with a very confined space and both eyes moving around. But now with one eye gone, the nose goes down, and so does the other eye, and Delca's on to Sigma 3.
Ooh, that was actually really close at the end there. Looked like a previous shot was going to kill that eye, but then it shut or something. Reopened up and just barely died before hitting the spikes.
Yeah, I've fallen for that one more than once.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if
trying to get to the middle of the stage and then you're just dead.
Oh, Delca doesn't go for the safe deboost strat and pays the price. Is going to have to fight Armadillo. Let's see what kind of rolls we get this time. Oh, he opens right away. So, best case scenario for missing the skip. But still going to be a considerable time loss. With Garebear only
having
having
a 30-second time loss to have to fight this guy again.
Yeah, because you've got his intro, you've got the fight itself, and this whole explosion, so it's a pretty substantial time loss. Garebear, meanwhile, on to the final fight of Sigma 3, the second to last stage. This is D-Rex, another pretty dangerous boss. Similar to Spider, once his health gets pretty low, you see he starts to move a lot faster. Getting a pretty favorable pattern here. Very nice fight from Garebear, actually.
Ooh, yeah. He hung out near the wall but didn't get bonked off of it. It usually happens when the car like slams a wall. He's really managing his spacing really well.
Yeah, that was good. So Garebear is going to be moving on to the Sigma 4, the final stage of the run. 3 boss fights in a row. First up is the doggy, followed by Jedi himself with a lightsaber, and then Big Sig, the final fight. Garebear, only having picked up 2 safety hearts this entire run, is going to have to be very careful here. A death sends you back to the beginning of this stage, and you'll likely have to farm for ammo. So it's a very real chance that Garebear could die here, and Delca could be right back in this race.
Yeah, dying, especially on Wolf Sigma at the end. It's about a 2-minute time loss, all things considered.
Yeah, gets through the dog with full health. Very nice. The Jedi is a pretty, it's sort of a break in between. The dog is sort of a chaotic fight, and Wolf Sigma is pretty stressful just because he dishes so much damage. But Jedi is very easy to manipulate and damage. So should come out of here with full health with no mistakes. And go in a pretty good position to win this race into Final Sigma, and does just that.
Yeah, the only thing really bad about the Jedi fight is that he just takes so little damage from everything, it lasts forever.
Yeah, it does have a pretty rockin' tune, though.
Yeah, even Charge Spark only does 3 damage or something.
Wow, so not the greatest patterns. Big Sigma is a very dangerous fight because the claws do, I don't know, what do they do? 8 damage when you crash into them, and the lightning does 12?
Yeah.
So
I think even bonking the big wolf head in the middle does 10 or 12.
Ooh, you see he takes a lightning there, so he's one hit away from death, but only 1 hit away from victory, and he, oh man, that clog was right in his face. But he gets the kill and cinches game 1 of this best of 3 set. As Delca finishes up Flame Mammoth and moves on to D-Rex. GG's to Garebear.
Oh man, how long is Garebear gonna let Sigma explode? Put him out of his misery, advance that text. There he goes. Probably busy typing his dot done in SRL.
Yeah, and Delca has no problems with D-Rex, so he'll be moving into the final fight. Delca, on the in contrast to Garebear, is going to have the armor, I think 2 extra hearts, the same hearts that Garebear grabbed, as well as a sub-tank. If his health starts to get low, he can top off with. So he's going to be in a pretty safe position. See how he does here.
Yeah, both of those runners with a really easy peasy D-Rex, making it look like that's not one of the hardest fights in the game.
Yeah, did we see any deaths in this race? Delca fell in the pit.
Yeah, he fell in the pit, that's it. Just that one pit in Sigma 2.
Oh, and Garebear died to Kwanger.
Oh, right. I totally forgot about that one. Yeah, he got grabbed.
Yeah. But pretty clean, otherwise. And not a whole lot of damage taken from the dog, so Delca's going to be in a pretty good spot. Hopefully, no mistakes on Jedi should have a really good chance at finishing this run cleanly with only the 1 death.
Yeah, and he's still got a sub-tank. I don't think he's been forced to use it yet.
He must have took a hit while I was looking away.
Oh, yeah, I think Sigma just got a little too close. They touched on the wall.
So I don't know. You think he uses? I think he can take 1 hit, so maybe he waits to use his sub-tank till after he takes a bit more damage. It's a nice lift from the claw here.
Yeah, he's got plenty of health for 1 hit from anything, so
yeah,
definitely wait a little bit.
With the armor on. Now he probably wants to pop it here. Yep, there he goes. It's back on that claw. Ideally, you don't see a whole lot of action from the claws here. They're both spamming lightning, which is not huge. The big problem lies when the right claw starts to come over and block your escape from left claw lightning at the same time. But Delca, rather, no problems after the sub-tank. Finishes with an SRL time of 37:40. Is that it? No, that's not a PB. PB's 36:29. So GG to Delca. We're going to have Game 2 coming up. This is best of 3, so if Garebear wins the next match, he will win. If he wins the next race, he'll win the match and ensure himself a place in the bracket. If Delca wins, we'll go to round 3, where we'll have one final race to see who advances into the bracket out of Group J. So I don't know if these runners want to take a short bio break or something, but we'll have the next race up pretty soon, hopefully. Pretty clean race. I mean, I can't think of any huge mistakes other than the 2 to S. Oh, and Delca did miss the armadillo skip, which cost him a bit of time.
Yeah, 30 seconds there, about a minute for the armor. A lot of this time difference is just, those two big things.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. See, they set the goal to any percent and then record the race. So it goes in the right category. That's the tech.
Some good tech.
Yeah, so while we wait, I guess we can talk about what else we got coming up. This race is the only race I think on the schedule for today, but we do have 2 more tomorrow. See if I can grab those real quick. Yeah, it looks like Brojman versus Arius 13 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Reeves versus Tichy also in Group J. Might even be the last matchup out of Group J. These guys are firing out these races. That's tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern. So plenty more Mega Man action coming soon. As well as a classic Mega Man tournament. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but that's always fun to watch too.
Oh,
kind of cool that both
Mega
those...
Man 1 tournament?
Yeah, Mega Man 1. It's kind of cool that Mega Man 1 and X1 are both going on at the same time. I thought that was kind of neat.
Alright, looks like Garebear is readied up. Alright, and RaceBot is counting down. We should be getting started real soon. Alright. Garebear was scaring me for a second there. He was in the options menu for so long, I thought he might have gone AFK after typing .ready. But anyway, they're off, and just like before, it's a lot of running to the right. They don't get to keep the boots from the last run.
Oh, that would be so nice, wouldn't it?
That would make this stage so hard. Killing those blue guys.
I know, right? It's the intro. Oh, man. I didn't catch Delca's pattern. Judging from his health, though, looks like he got the passive B, so he's going to have to watch out for his second passive. But maybe, no health from the walkers in between. He does get the missile B, so he's going to be able to do the regular 2-bonk strat and be just fine. But had that second B been a passive as well, body bonks on the B would have killed him. So he either would have had to opt for a 1-bonk strat, which I don't think he has practiced, and likely would have had to kill the B from the front, which is a considerable time loss.
Garebear's got plenty of health. Let's see if he goes for task cars again. Oh, looks like he is. Setting it up.
Unfriendly bullet, but not the really bad second bullet that knocks you in the pit. Doesn't get the time save out of it though, but his health's down where it needs to be, so he's going to be just fine. Let's see what kind of ship patterns we get. Looks like Garebear gets a fairly unfriendly one. Delca's is just a little shorter, maybe. Pretty similar though. And what's Vile gonna do? It's like the trifecta of RNG in the intros: the bees, the ship, and Vile. Looks like very similar Vile patterns as well. So no advantages.
They're nearly synced.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could talk about the version we're playing. We're playing the Japanese version. At least both of these races are. And as in the case with a lot of speed games, the Japanese version is faster simply because of the text. The text boxes are shorter. I'm not sure what the number is over the course of an any percent run, but I think it's like 12.5 seconds in 100% versus the US version.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Delca taking on a few hits here. Those bunnies do an impressive amount of damage for as early in the run as they are. I think they do 4 damage each.
Yeah, they're straight out of X3 pretty much.
Yeah. What's that? Isn't that Monty Python movie with like the crazy rabbit?
Yeah, could just be Monty Python the Holy Grail reference.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't kill you instantly, it just does a lot of damage.
So here, both of us, both racers get the boots, and off to the races. Let's see if Garebear just misses the no-stop hallway there. I think Delca has it practiced now. He opts to just spray them all down.
SNES Classic has a lower frame rate. I guess that makes sense. They probably have it at 59.94 frames per second. Like how most things are, but the Super Nintendo itself is like just barely over 60.
A pretty good snowball section. That section is deceptively difficult. There's a lot of guys there that take multiple hits to kill, so getting through there cleanly is not the easiest of tasks in this game. Getting some slides on both sides. I think the best pattern is this ice breath that we're seeing now. Simply because Penguin doesn't take knockback and you know exactly what he's going to be doing for a little bit, so you can time your hits very easily. And even try to pull off the Doppler effect.
Alright, and the sink is officially gone. Garebear's about to teleport out, and Delca's just finishing up the fight. I like the way Garebear does the stage select at Kowanger. At least in principle. There's like no way to screw that up.
What is it? Right, up.
Yeah, he ends up on the corner button, so if he accidentally presses something and attempts to go to the wrong stage, it's not going to happen.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more missed stage selects in this tournament so far.
Yeah, I think we've seen a bunch, or not really a bunch, but some from some of the top tier runners you wouldn't expect it from, and they just like immediately hit the reset button and password in. It's like, ah.
Yeah, stage selects are unlike X2 where it's one input for every stage select. This one's got 2 on nearly everyone and 3 on a few of them. So it's very easy to mix up. And you can select whatever stage you were last hovering over by selecting the middle as well. It's like a big target, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. You don't just immediately jump across the stage select. You have to go through the middle.
Garebear getting a little low on health here again. See if he gets a small one from the wall turret there.
That's enough to survive a grab.
Yeah,
so.
He's gonna have to still be fairly careful here in this Kowanger fight, lest he falls again. But Delca, meanwhile, making his way up the inside climb. Again, these segments here are some of the hardest in the game, simply because most of the movement in the game is horizontal. Oh, and Delca takes a death before making it to Kowanger. That's going to put him back down at the bottom of the outside climb. Garebear gets his dance and is now into the teleport phase of the fight, at which point you can just stand in the center and turn back and forth, and Kawanger will never teleport on top of you as long as you're not moving.
Even gets a little dodge on the grab and gets a full charge shot in there.
Yeah, it was a good fight from Garebear. So that's going to give him a pretty good lead on Delca. We'll see if he can overcome this.
If Garebear's going almost a low percent, then really anything could happen.
Yeah, this is any percent, so...
Maybe a slightly more rough bow spider than last time, or a worse big sig at the end.
Or a not totally free D-Rex.
Yeah. Yeah, both of them got a really nice D-Rex. Jeez. Every time I have to fight D-Rex, it's just slamming me around all over the place.
Yeah, so anything can happen, especially with as few safeties as Garebear has got. So this race is by no means over. Delca cleanly finishes Boomer Kawanger. No trouble in the fight itself, just the death just prior. That's enough to set him back quite a bit, as Garebear's already reached Sting Chameleon. He should have no problems in this fight. Even goes for the quick open where you climb the wall and shoot him directly in the face rather than just shooting a boomerang on the ground, which arcs up. Saves a handful of frames. I imagine Delca's is going to go up for that armor again. Yeah, here we go. So this is going to add even more separation. Banking on a mistake from Garebear later in the run that Delca can capitalize on with his additional safety. Taking some damage from Green Biker Dad here as well. Looks like he might have tinked that last boomerang too. The thing about fighting...
got a couple tinks on there.
Yeah, the thing about fighting this mid-boss is that he's weak to boomerang, and so is Sting Chameleon. So you need to ration your boomerang usage so that you have exactly enough to finish the Sting Chameleon fight, which ideally limits you to 18 boomerangs and 5 dash lemons to kill Green Biker Dad. Would leave you 10 boomerangs and 1 dash lemon to kill Sting Chameleon. I guess we didn't talk about dash lemons at all, did we?
No, I don't think we mentioned that at all yet.
Yeah.
While you're dashing, the first lemon that you fire deals double damage.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward idea, and
it's kind of about it. It can get a little weird because you really want to make sure that one hits because you only get one at a time. So if it misses, then you have to wait for it to despawn before you get more like actual damaging lemons.
Yeah, but oftentimes it's one of the best ways to dish out damage if you don't have like a boss's weakness or something.
And yeah, the armor capsule is a pretty big time loss. It's about a minute to go get it, but it's better to sacrifice a minute earlier than to struggle on the final boss and lose like 2 minutes per death.
Yeah, super friendly eagle for Garebear, diveless. I don't know.
It's just making up for all the dives he got in the previous run.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about it last time either, but these ice shots on these blue guys are pretty cool. The idea is that you put the ice shot out there early enough that the enemy spawns on it, and so when it hits, the ricochets also hit the enemy, and it dishes out, I don't know, what is it, 5 or 6 hits total with one shot. And that way you're able to take those blue guys down with just 2 shots. Garebear with a nifty little tornado there as a sort of slime umbrella, deflecting Thunder Slimer's goop.
Thunder Slimer had the last laugh though. Garebear thought that final tornado was going to do it, but he jumped out of the way.
And Delca going up to get that sub-tank again as expected. I'm just going to probably get the same exact suite of items. Ooh,
playing it safe on those platforms. Ooh, never mind. Not
No.
so safe there. After the sub-tank though, played it a bit safe on the platforms. Didn't just YOLO and hold right, hoping to make it.
Oh man,
But
that was
that's
just
right before the checkpoint too.
Oh man, that hurts big time. Now he's gonna go the low route. I don't imagine he's practiced these platforms. These platforms could be deceptively dangerous because the turrets don't always spawn. I mean, if your movement is exactly the same every time, yeah, they're gonna spawn in the exact same spots. But if they're somewhere where you don't expect them to be, their flamethrower can very easily knock you into the pit. But Delca makes it through as Garebear finishes up the Spark Mandrill.
Garebear's keeping his lead of about a stage. Just extend it a little bit.
Let's see what kind of eagle we get for Delca. See if he shows some sympathy or rubs it in. He's going for the hover, which is usually a good sign. He can go up at the hover. Oh, he does. He does go up. He's going to get 3 dives. Oh, 4. 4 dives. Meanwhile, Garebear taking care of the miners here. Oh, a little hiccup, but makes it through. See Delca opting for the tornado strats here instead of the ice we saw from Garebear. It's slightly slower, but a whole lot easier because you don't have to time anything so well. The problem is that you have to wait around for the tornadoes because they move so slowly that you can actually outrun them and despawn them.
Yeah, and in this section especially, it's really beneficial to just have the tornado carry on with you, sweep through a whole bunch of enemies. Ooh, Thunder Slimer actually comes down for once and just sits there.
Again, Armadillo, one of the pretty simple stages. Riding on carts, dodging the mole borer. He's going to pick up his second safety heart. As if he sticks to what he did last race, which I imagine he will, worked out for him. This will be his last safety, just the 2 hearts. Now on this final cart, you'll see him do some jumping around. And this is not just showboating or anything like that. This has a purpose. There's birds that are set to spawn while you ride on that cart, and a whole bunch of them. And they generate a boatload of lag. So by jumping at certain times on that cart, you actually jump over the trigger to spawn those birds. And and then they don't spawn. And you get a nice smooth cart ride straight to Dillo, and a perfect pattern for Garebear. Again, gonna back him up to the wall. See if he does this neat little wall shot I didn't notice last time.
Yeah, I think he did it last time.
Yeah.
Man, there's been a lot of really nice Dillos today too. Like, I think the most rolling we saw was Dillo rolling around the room one time and then coming out.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. We got at least one more Dillo fight to go. So Garebear onto his last Maverick here. It is probably the most dangerous. I think the highest chance to die in any of the Maverick stages is here in Octopus. Maybe not the highest like sheer difficulty of execution, but definitely the highest risk of pain. And he's already taken a bonk immediately. He's gonna have to watch his health. He'll probably farm a little health off this sub if it drops any.
Yeah, these two subs and the Utubaros tend to drop a lot of health. So if you really need it and want some safeties, you can just grab those. He doesn't have to wait though. The little worm things that the submarine shoots out drop some health for him.
Yeah, but he took some bonks on the fish, takes another bonk on this side, but he gets 2 big health, so he's back to full again anyways. I'm gonna go for this depth charge deception. Oh, and he gets the clean through. The depth charge-less, I guess. That's pretty rare. Let's see if Dillo continues his friendly trend of the night. No, we're seeing some rolls. Just not too bad though.
Yeah, rolling around twice. That's definitely not the worst anyone's ever had.
Yeah, something like 25 seconds is.
Yeah, people have had some really absurd ones over the years. I think QTT6 has a highlight of a really good one.
Yeah, I know Sopa has a really good one too.
Yeah. Dude, what a game where we care about what horrible luck that we get.
Speaking of horrible luck, what is Octopus doing? Jeez.
He doesn't like pain, so he just wants to stop it by doing the whirlpools where he's invincible.
Yeah, I guess I can't blame him. You're gonna have to fall eventually, Octopus. This is a speed run. So into the fortress we go. Garebear, if he can maintain this lead, will lock up his spot in the bracket.
Ooh, using Spark, interesting.
Yeah, that's a 100% strat for saving ammunition for the Octo fight, since you don't normally have Sea Sting here in 100%, but yeah, interesting to use Spark. Garebear opting out of the Leap of Faith and just waiting on the platforms. And then now taking his necessary damage before ascending into the vile cutscene skip. No health from them this time, so he won't have to get punched in the face. The way this cutscene skip works is kind of interesting. You notice he climbed the left wall and then jumped over to the right-hand side, and that's because the cutscene triggers as soon as you touch the floor in front of that door. But by using the gap of the ladder and kicking out of it to reach the wall without ever touching the ground, you can skip the first part of this cutscene. It sort of plays 2 at once, and it saves a fair bit of time.
Yeah, it's like playing 2 cutscenes at once, and also Vile isn't waiting for either of them to finish, he just comes at you.
Yeah, there is a chance of the soft lock, which we did see once already in this tournament. But no problems for Garebear, and a very nice Vile fight as well.
Yeah. Kept his distance and just dodged everything. Just easy peasy.
I don't rip 0. never to be seen again in a Mega Man X game.
Yeah, he's dead here. And pretty similarly to last race, Garebear is making his way through Sigma 1, while Delca is making his way through his final Maverick.
Pretty straightforward Koanger fight there. There is a chance if Koanger cooperates, you can get a double hit with that first charge shot that Garebear did, and that saves one hit, similar to the Penguin fight. If you can get 2 charged hits on most Mavericks, it'll save one fight in the end. But not a cooperative Koanger this time.
Yeah, and we'll see what kind of luck Garebear gets on Bow Spider.
Babies right away.
Right off the bat. Well, only a 3 crossing after. If it were babies in a 6, that's when you know things are bad.
Another set, but 1 cross. He is running at about half health here, so he's gonna have to watch out. I don't know if he could survive a collision with Big Mama here.
Well, he's at half, and he's picked up some safety hearts, so I think he can survive 1. But
no worries.
Better
though.
not to try it.
Yeah. So very nice fight. Didn't miss any cycles. 2 sets of babies. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty solid. Well, Delca has made his way into the fortress now. See if he goes for the leap of faith. Takes a hit right away. Oh, and takes a hit from that jamminger. It's going to throw the cycles out of whack, and he's not even going to have a chance at it. It's very dangerous. Oh, you see it right there. Got his dash eaten. Almost fell in the pit, but was able to recover. Those moving platforms.
Caught that really quick.
Yeah, those moving platforms have a tendency to take your dash input and throw it in the trash. Now, how many slides this time? Penguin. There's 1. Wow, this is nice. Oh, just 2 slides. Wow.
One for the road.
Yeah,
There's always 1 more on the final hit. Friggin' Penguin.
Looks like a good skip here from Delca. He's a little bit to the left. Ideally, you move a little bit to the right during the Vile fight so that Vile doesn't jump as far over your head to start the fight proper.
Yeah, if he goes too far to the left, then when you fire rolling shields at him, or any projectile really, it'll reach the area off screen where it despawns before it reaches Vile. It looks like there's no problem. Vile jumped right out of there anyway.
No dives either. Wow. This is a pretty solid Sig 2 for Garebear. See if Rangda cooperates, and you could have a really, really nice time coming out of Sigma 2. It's the red eye. Should be able to get 3 hits easily on that. Finish it off. See if we can get the 1 cycle nose. Oh, he's not. No. Not even going for it.
The 1 cycle can be kind of difficult to go for anyway. It's easy to get bonked by it. It deals quite a bit of damage. You know, the nice D-boost, hop off the spikes, occupy the middle.
Yeah, make use of those iframes. Very nice. I guess we never even mentioned it, but at the end of each fight, or each stage, I guess, you want to finish as close to the middle as you can, because before the the fanfare can play, X needs to walk to the center of the screen. So if you position yourself there already, you can save a bit of time that way. Another safety skip, no problem for Garebear.
Ooh, Delca getting the healthy needs again. I think off the very same enemy as last run. Like that, what, second to last Jaminger just always seems to drop a big health.
Let's see, Delca's got an interesting strat. Instead of going to the wall like you see a lot of players do to sort of bait the children spiders all to go the same direction, he just swapped to Buster and dumped his charge to sweep them off the ground, and then just took a regular ice shot instead of the charge shot. It is going to add cycles to the fight. Oh, we got a charge ice sled off that one. Interesting.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, it's not always going to be the case. So he's going to end up with one extra cycle, but makes it a whole lot easier to manage those babies.
Yeah, I've seen that strat a lot in 100% runs, just like bringing a charge shot into the fight just in case of babies, so you don't even have to care.
Yeah, the thing about 100% is that you can just sweep the babies away and then throw a Hotto. Where in any percent, if you use your charge to sweep the babies away, you're not always going to have a full charge ready in time to hit him with an ice sled when he gets down to the ground. So it can add cycles to the fight. But no problem for Delca. Moving on to Sigma 2. Okay, we're going to pick up this safety health before the Octo fight. Probably a wise decision. Why not? No sense risking a death this late in the game. Let's see if Penguin's as friendly to Delca as he was to Garebear. One slide so far. There's round 2. Garebear, meanwhile, getting the business from Octopus.
Yeah, 2 energy drains. That's really sucky.
Delca got 3 slides to Garebear's 2, so
you hope for 0 energy drains, but 0 or 1 are actually pretty common fights. Getting more than that, it's just makes you question why you even play this game.
So 2 more fights to go for Garebear. Mammoth is straightforward and then the risky D-Rex. Let's see what Eagle does. How many dives for Delca? There are all the bosses on Garebear's side in this race. He goes up for the hover. Let's see if does he gonna come back down? Yeah, he's back down. It's gonna be diveless for Delca as well.
Nice. Yeah, nice fight. Just, I think the one criticism I have for that is he could have crossed over to the right side and just been closer to Rangda at the end.
Yeah, that's the ideal pattern I like to see is a hover that I can go underneath to get on the right side without seeing any dives. Pretty good fight from Garebear. A little more chaotic this time, I think, than last time, but yeah, no damage.
No damage. They still made pretty simple work of D-Rex.
Oh, Green Eyes. Triple Green Eye. That's the worst pattern you can see to open this fight.
Yeah, the first one you can kind of get a double hit on, but then after that you have to react to which eye is even opening, so it's not really feasible to get more than 1 hit on a green eye. It's just a huge time waste.
Yeah. So Garebear in Sig 4 now, and Delca's going to be moving on to Sig 3. Pretty big difference. But Garebear, minimal safeties, is going to have to be very careful here and has a very real chance of losing large amounts of time. But it gets out of the dog unscathed, so it's going to have his best chance at completing this run. And Delca misses the skip again. Oh, someone's going to teach him the safe skip.
Yeah, well, the way he messed it up this time is really easy to have happen after how he messed it up last time, where last run he was too far to the left So this time he was like trying to correct that and just walked a little too far to the right.
Yeah,
all it takes is one missed Dillo skip to like completely ruin your intuition for it, and you're just like, oh god, where do I go? Well, I wasn't far enough to the right last time, I guess I'll just go a little farther, and then you mess it up again. And you have to like sit and practice it 17 times before you actually get it again.
Well, Garebear onto the final fight of the run, gets blocked by the claw, but is aware enough, avoids any damage there.
That's actually like the worst kind of pattern to have, is the wolf head doing an attack at the same time you're blocked from going up by the claw.
Oh, there's a lightning strike. Oh, he's got to watch out now. One more lightning strike will end it, but he only needs 3 more hits. 2. And he's done with a 33-18. According to my paperwork here, that's a fresh PB for Garebear. Congrats to Garebear. GG.
According to my cursory glance of the stream, that number's red, so I don't know if that's a PB.
Yeah, red number.
Unless he's
Beats his
those,
leaderboard time.
Unless he's one of those weirdos who change the colors on live split just to mess with us.
So with that victory, Garebear goes 2-1 in the group stage, and from my calculations, locks up a place in the bracket alongside Reeves out of Group J. So congrats to Garebear. But let's give it up for Delca here. He's still got a little ways to go. Running a little low on health in the Octo fight, but does have the armor, so should be pretty safe. Not bad, not bad. I imagine he'll take the top route here and get that extra health that he lost in the Octo fight here. Get a bit of a refill.
And get himself a 1-up. At this point in the game, you actually kind of don't want 1-ups. See if you get to Wolf Sigma and you die, it's better to get a game over because then you just get ammo back.
Yeah, a game over to D-Rex though is very, very bad.
Yeah. The worst place ever.
Yeah, how many refights? I mean, you got to do Dillo, Skip, and then one Chameleon, Mandrill,
Octo, Mammoth.
Yeah, so 5 boss fights and a potential 6th. Something you don't want to have to relive, I don't think. D-Rex is a tricky fight for one reason, because you're using these boomerangs and he's always at the ceiling, and controlling these boomerangs isn't as easy as these runners are making it look. Oh man, Delca's got pretty low health. One more shot. Very nice. But to get the boomerangs to curve upward is not always an easy task. You just, the boomerang can either curve downwards or upwards, and it depends on whether X is ascending or descending in a jump.
And if you manage to hit the lower half of D-Rex with the boomerang, it not only does 0 damage, but it also eats up the boomerang. And you've already used some ammo on Chameleon, so you don't want to be too liberal with spamming boomerangs everywhere. But Delca heading on into the home stretch. Once again, I don't think he's been forced to use his sub-tank yet. So we've still got that in reserve, plus the armor, plus a couple safety hearts. So you should be able to nail this relatively easily.
Yeah, it takes a couple hits off the dog, but nothing too serious. Still plenty of health. As long as you can get through the Jedi cleanly, you should be in a very good position to be able to finish this up.
Missing shots is kind of okay as long as you keep Sigma going the correct direction every time. Then it's like really simple to keep track of where he's going to be. It's always when you get him to go right on accident or come down early that things get really bad.
Yeah, you do have to be a little careful because the spark only does 2 damage. If you miss too many shots, it's I've seen it before. You can run out of ammo, and then everything else only does 1 damage. Dash lemons even only do 1 damage. I think pink charge shots do 2, maybe. Pretty good start to this fight so far. Oh, here comes that right claw, though. Yeah. Oh, he didn't have much in that sub-tank. Uses iframes to get through that claw again.
That's alright, he's got quite a bit of health and Sigma's about dead.
Yep. And that's it. 38, 28. See, those are blue numbers, and I know that's not a PB.
He might not have even been using splits, who knows.
Yeah.
You'd have to check out their streams and
No.
maybe
Either way,
follow
GG.
them to find out.
Oh, yeah, make sure. Yeah, both of these runners are very, very cool dudes. Checked out both their channels myself, so make sure you give our runners a follow. Shout outs to Delca, who, according to my sheet here, falls to 1 and 2 in the group, and unfortunately will not be advancing to bracket. So this will likely be his last tournament race. So big props to Delca for stepping up in a big way to participate in this tournament. And let me find out if we got time for an interview.
Yeah, looks like we do. See if we can get our runners in here real quick. Oh, Garebear saying no thank you.
Okay, no thanks from Garebear. No word from Delca yet, but I guess while we wait, I want to say thanks to the Speed Gaming crew again for putting on this tournament for us, giving us a platform to show off what we do. I want to remind you guys that all these tournament matches will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, the Speed Gaming. So if you missed anything or miss anything in the future, you can always check them out there. Also want to plug, we got an MMX relay coming up this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure what channel it'll be on, but it'll be featured on the Speed Gaming network of channels somewhere, I'm sure. It's Mega Man X 1 through 4, featuring 4 teams, so that should be a lot of fun, so you don't miss that one. I'm not hearing anything from Delca. Not sure if his English is all that good or not. But I guess that's going to be it from us. I don't know what's coming up next on this channel, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of action. And it sounds like Mega Man 1 here, so pretty awesome. Make sure you give those guys a runner. GG's to both of our runners, and thanks Sam for helping me out with commentary.
Yeah, no problem.
So, and like I said, we got 2 more matches tomorrow, so be sure to check them out. Lots more Mega Man action coming your way.
Yeah, plenty coming up as everyone tries to finish up their groups. I think some groups hardly have any matches played.
Yeah, I think some even have 0. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of Mega Man action over the next few weeks. But until then, I guess that's it for us. And we'll see you next time. GG.